Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter, it only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Grand Rising. Today is a new day to start again. It is 12/1/2025. Well, it's been a while, obviously. I had someone leave a comment on an old video, so I said, why not? I'm going to try to stay to my script. I've tried to do this video a couple times. I'm rusty, and I have a lot going on in my life, so I'm going to just try to go with what I wrote. The thing is, I met an amazing woman. Part of the reason why I did these videos was because it helped me. It was like my best friend. Even if no one watched, just doing the video was like talking to my friend, New Day, who is me, but it is kind of my alter ego. Also, when you have another person in your life, time kind of shrinks and you start doing things for them. And I just kind of fell out. And I know that I have a lot of people that watch, or not a lot, but there's a few. And I just wanted to kind of center back for them, anyone that was giving me their time. I've been alone pretty much my whole life. I was married for about 9 years, but it was a different type of marriage. And so this new thing that I've got with this girl or woman is pretty amazing. It's an amazing experience. So recently I also suffered from a bout with, I'm going to try to say this right, cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, which essentially is a food poisoning type of reaction to marijuana. I dealt with this I looked at it and I had to go back into my Facebook to figure out when it was, but it was actually back in 2022. And I went to the hospital. They diagnosed me with COVID, and the people that were around me were convinced that I was crazy. So that's kind of what was told to the hospital. But what it was, I was throwing up and I couldn't stop and I needed to get fluids. So that's basically why I ended up going to the hospital, because I would have eventually died. So when I went there, they weren't sure what it was. They found out that I smoked marijuana, so that what they said in the end was, that's what this is. It's cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, or CHS. At the time, it had been seen a resurgence in the ERs, so they knew what it was. And I really didn't buy it, actually, when they told me that. So when I went home, I smoked a little bit more, and that wasn't a good idea because I ended up in the hospital again. The biggest telltale sign that I found from it is whenever you take a hot shower, it really relieves it. And I've never really had that with other sicknesses. So that seemed to be one of the things that really stuck out. I said really a lot. I do have a problem with starting these videos over and over again, especially when I first started doing them. So I'm trying to stay on course because it bothers me when I say the same word over and over again. Anyways, to stay with this, I started after about 1.5 years of quitting marijuana. I started smoking again, and I'd been smoking for a long time since then. But recently, I fell into the same bout where I got very sick. And luckily, I had a friend with me to help me through it. But I decided that it's time to quit again. And it felt like my body, as part of the Trinity, mind, body, soul, was telling me it's time. And I've been doing a lot of things with my life to try to improve myself. And although I really do think there are benefits from marijuana, and I think it did help me reach to a spiritual place that I am now, I don't really need it anymore. And I don't think you ever really needed it in the first place, but it is an amplifier. And I think there are tools out there. I just overuse a tool. What I talk about a lot is everything that we have is a tool, but it can also be used as a weapon against us. So I said I was going to stay on script. I let it go. The other big thing, even before I met this girl, I had decided that I needed to, or not before I met her, but while she was still in my presence, part of my transitioning to asking her was I put down pornographic stuff. I said, I don't want to do that anymore. And I've been doing it most of my life. This is a little bit off subject, but I think it is important. I think that it's very difficult for people that get addicted to watching these things that are so accessible on our phones, to where we can just go to the corner and find two people having what I would call sex, or it's not love for sure. And I think when we watch that, it has a major impact on what we're doing in our life. And I think we actually, whether we believe it or not, have guilt from doing it, especially if we have other people in our life. And even if they say it's fine for us to do it, I think that it is something that we should all try to shut ourselves away from. But that's my opinion. And I did that, and it's been a major impact on me and how I walk around in the world. I've really increased my confidence. What I think confidence is actually confidence. I think you've confided in your Creator everything that you have done in your life. And as you walk outside, if you've done that and you feel okay with that, then you've come to terms. And that gives you confidence to walk in the daylight in front of everyone, because you've already told all of your secrets in the dark to the one source that it's important to tell that to. And I think that's actually where confidence comes from. So I've gained a lot of confidence. It's really important, though, as you gain confidence, to know that it's not yours. So the other part of my life is I miss my girls. I live in a different state than them. I don't get to see them very often. They're teenagers, so it is difficult to have consistent communication with them because they have their own lives. Also, my job is not really working for me anymore. I'm searching for what is the right path for me, but I had, in my previous time through life, there's been a couple times, especially one in particular, where I worked for a mattress firm for 9 years and put in my 2 weeks notice and quit that during a time where I really needed the stability of having that job, because I was relocating and doing all kinds of things at once. So I don't want to do that again. But I do know that where I'm at is not where I want to be. So what I'm trying to do is, I just want my talents, all the things that I've gained from all the struggles that I've went through, I want to give them back to the people that are around me. And I think that's what I feel called to do. So organizing New Day into something that will reach more people is something that interests me. I've been kind of hiding and letting people find me, because I know that what I have to say is alarming to some people, but I have learned how to say it in a way I think that will reach more people. So I think that's going to change. This concept, new day to start, or today is a new day to start. It's based in Tao. And Tao is really what I feel called to talk about as well, even though the Tao cannot be explained. I want to show it through what I'm doing in my life. And I think our world needs Tao. And more than ever, it needs it. And Tao really is present awareness. So not smoking weed while doing this, it will take some time to adjust. Anytime you take something out of your life, it takes some time for your body and your rhythms and everything else to adjust, and for people around you to adjust to it, because you were a certain way for a long time. So you can't hold them accountable for making you, for like, this is who I am now. They have to see it in motion. So you can't be too judgmental of the people around. But I will say it is important sometimes, if you have habits that you're trying to get rid of, and there are people that are around you that are trying to like bring you back into those old habits because they do them themselves, or They just liked you better whenever you were below them. It's important to remove yourself from those situations if that's necessary. But I feel like this is what I'm called to do. I have a story to tell. I have a testimony that has led me to being very content. I did not think that I would ever find someone. I've talked a lot about it in these videos. And the fact that I have is just really, it's amazing to me. And it rounded out my contentment. And and I don't ever like to say if or whatever about the future because we don't know. But where we are right now, it seems like it's going to be a journey that's going to last a long time. So I'm just very thankful and blessed. So my main target is mind, body, and soul. Really, the Tao is my main target. I want to talk about the Tao, but through the Tao, I figured out the Trinity, which is mind, body, and soul. And I think treating our body as a temple includes all three. And it's important. It's not just eating healthy. It's also everything else, living healthy and making sure that you're doing the things that you want to do because you want to do them, not because of programming, of all the things that we've all been subjected to so much. It's impossible really to break away from it. And the only way I've been able to find to do that is to put your feet on the ground with no shoes on and walk around. It's really cold outside right now though. I wouldn't do that. It'd hurt your feet. So I've been in a busy life and I'm still a very, very poor man. I don't have very much money. I still have my same thoughts about money if you want to go back and look at old videos. I drive a G5, which is a really old car. It's been a blessing though. And I make less money than I did when I was 22 years old. And I'm really doing a good job where I'm at work. It's not profitable for me. And it's not a workable lifestyle. I have to find something that will give me enough money because really all I want to do is be a father. And I haven't been able to be a father because I have such a small amount of resources. And it's difficult for me and my ego, but it's not that important other than I'm missing time and I want to be there with them, for them, as much as I can be. And because I have such limited funds, it's very difficult. So I have to give faith to my Creator and to the mother of my children that she's doing a good job and that my kids are being taken care of. And I'm sure there's all kinds of animosity towards me in what I've done. But all I can do is keep moving forward and try to get to where I want to be. And I would have never gotten to where I am so far had I not taken the steps that I took. So I don't really have regret, even though others might. I am very content with where I am. And I know that as I move forward, it's better days ahead, because that's just the way it's going to be, especially when you put all this effort into your life. That's where confidence comes from too, is I spent a lot of time reflecting. I spent a lot of time doing things, mind, body, soul, to improve and to treat my life as a temple, to treat my body as a temple. So I have a lot of confidence, even though if you're looking at me, you might think as far as the status of my life that I shouldn't. And I think that's where the delusions come from too. And money makes people that are very delusional, deluded to their own status. They think that because they have a lot of money, they've done the work. But most of the work that they've done has nothing to do with the work you're supposed to be doing here on earth, in my opinion. So, I can sing, I can dance a little bit. I think I could get better at dancing. I can write. I'm a good speaker. I'm a good communicator. I've done a ton of research. So I am well read, or well, that's hard to talk sometimes. And I have a weird thing going on where I've got a lot of moisture in my mouth. So I'm trying not to spit on you as I drink more water. Anyways, I have a uniqueness to my message, and I think it's just a little different, and it might hit people in a way that is necessary and helpful. So it's what I've been called to bring to the world, is this new day to start. Today is a new day. And ready or not, here I come. I'm going to try very hard moving forward to bring my voice out, because I think I have something to say that people want to hear and maybe even need to hear. If you've given plenty of time, I've given plenty of time to get ready, and I've given you plenty of time to get ready. I think that love in the end is the answer, and love is the balance, what I call balance, between, I'm going to get a little into my stuff, black alchemy. I think alchemy and astrology are the two main things that we have as disciplines that we can use to profit in this world, to be a prophet. And that is to be able to know what's going to happen, a knowing. So I would call Black Earth alchemy. That's the mixing of things down here. And then you can mix things together and know how they work together. If you start to learn that through the elements, you can start to get an understanding and actually have some kind of process that will help others by alchemizing. And so I think that's mother bound. I think that's essentially Gaia, and it's being a part of this mother earth that we live in, which has some animalistic stuff to it. I think it's real important to distinguish, though. We are not animals. And oftentimes, the people that I resonate that would talk about this kind of stuff, they are convinced that we come from apes. And I just think that that's stupid, and we don't. And we're completely different than animals. We have a whole different thing. I really go back to Prometheus. When Prometheus created us, there were already animals created, and they had nothing left but consciousness to use. And that's what, and then also we were given fire, the control of fire, which is helpful and gives us an advantage over the rest of the realm. I don't want to get lost in this, but so alchemy is very important, and we've really lost it. So that's really important for me to start. I think with New Day to start, I'm going to have a branch of alchemy and I'm going to have a branch of astrology. And what I want is just more in-depth discussions about what it is. Alchemy is just not chemicals. It's all of it. It's earth, everything mixing together. And then the other one is astrology, which I think is actually Father. I think it's Source. I think all of that that's above is fully integrated with down below, but that is the source. So it is what fuels, it is the energy that is what makes all this possible. And you have to be understanding of what that is and how that works, because it does change. As it changes, our seasons change here on Earth as well. So that's my main goal, is to focus on the Trinity and focus on the Tao and to focus on alchemy and astrology, because those are things that are really lost in our society. So I truly believe that following the way, you take all that away. What Lao Tzu would say is, none of that really matters. Just stay focused on what's in front of you. And if you stay in your full awareness and you use your discipline and you use your logic from everything that you've learned up until that point, most of which you've forgotten, but as long as you're keeping a beginner's mind in your moments, you can handle basically anything as long as you're paying attention. And I think that goes to the experts. You know, you have these experts that will come up in front of you and they use all these jargon, and that's important. That's why they use strange words, because it makes it to where only a few people understand what they're talking about. Where if everybody understood, there'd be a lot of people raising their hand going, I don't know if I agree with that. But if you were a doctor, you won't hear from a peasant because they don't speak the same language. But if the doctor would learn how to break that language down, he'd hear a lot of people, or she'd hear a lot of people saying, I don't know if that's right, just because you say it is. I think that's a lot of how our system works, and the ego that's presented from it, because they did all this work to get to where they are. They don't have to listen to the common person, when in essence, that's the best way to learn. the best way to learn is through the mentor and the apprentice. As they work together, the apprentice actually teaches the mentor. Anyways, we are always one step away, is what I would say. Everybody that looks around and says this world is so bad, we're one step away. Just like in your life, we're one step away from everything changing. And that's what makes it so magical. And that's why they're so afraid of people like me. We are only one step away from a new life, a new adventure, a new realm. But it does require discipline. You have to take accountability for yourself. That's where it all begins. And that's how you will reach people as well, because you've done the work and it'll be obvious, as opposed to having a degree. We are required to take the right steps if we want to go to the right place. If you are in hard times, lonely times, abusive times, the pain you endure becomes your strength. That's what alchemy is. So I'm going to keep this short today at 22 minutes. I did want to do a video because somebody reached out, and I want to make sure everybody knows that I'm okay. I'm actually doing better than okay. I'm better than I've ever been. And I'm really excited because I think that with me being completely sober and people not being able to say I'm this or that, I have a lot stronger voice and I can help a lot more people. And I can relate to pretty much anyone. If they have questions of where I've been, I can relate to a lot of people because I've endured a lot. And I just think it's something, regardless of the money that happens, I think that it's something that I'm called to do, and I gain a lot from it by doing it. So I hope everybody has an awesome day out there. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing these videos. I can say that no matter what happens, I'm following the way to the best of my abilities, and so I feel safe in this realm. And I know that I have a lot to give. I have more to give. Every day I gain more. So I just want to bring this to other people that are struggling and having difficult times and are having a hard time finding their way through the addictions and through just when you get stuck in patterns. And don't get me wrong, I'm kind of stuck in a pattern right now. I'm in a job that is a dead-end job where I'm underappreciated, and I'm really trying to show my value, but no one's seeing my value. And so I can't stay somewhere where that's so, but I can't just go off and leave. As we figured out in this life, you have to have some kind of a plan moving forward to make money in this world. Because if you don't have money, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, and nobody's just going to give you money because people get really held on to their money. Even people that have so much they don't even know what to do with. There are people literally on the last part of their life that are holding on to all this money. Why? What are you doing? What is that for? That's going to hold your soul chained here because you were holding on to something that wasn't even yours. You think you were so proud because of all you did. You saved money and you put it in the right place. You manipulated everyone else, basically. You followed the rules that are not good. You were smart enough to know what the rules were, so you used them to your advantage. And that even includes hard work. But most of the people that have all this money aren't there from hard work. They're there from being advantageous to a world that is corrupt and was meant to be corrupt. And it actually makes the people that are full of ego, that are actually not good for the rest of us. I don't know. I got lost at the end there. I'm really kind of struggling with that part of the hardest part of my message is going to people that have a whole lot of money and saying you're not doing it the right way, when they're sitting there going, well, obviously I'm doing it the right way. It's very difficult to break through that. But that's what we have to do in the end if we really want to change things. And like I said, it's one step away. It's one step away every day. It can always change for the better, especially if you're doing the right thing. So hope everybody has a great day out there. This really bombed at the end, but whatever. I'm rusty. I haven't done a video for a while. I'm going to figure it out and find a better way to do these to where it's easier for other people to watch. And that's where we're at. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it will. We're one step away. Have a great day. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter. It only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Have an awesome day.